Update: girl in her 20s who my 23 female ex, 23 male cheated on me with, reached out to me, not sure how to respond. Original post. A quick background. My ex and I broke up 6 months ago. We were together for about 3 years. I found out he was cheating on me, but to be clear, there were a lot of other reasons why we broke up. It was a messy breakup because my ex just basically split and didn't want to discuss things. Told me he didn't need to discuss things anymore because he already had someone new. A few days after our breakup, my ex and this girl who we'll call Jessica started posting all over social media about their relationship. I found this gross, but what else could I do? I just was basically hurting but didn't engage anymore. My ex's family reached out to me to basically say that they were uncomfortable about it. A mere few weeks after our breakup, my ex brought Jessica to a family dinner to introduce her. They weren't enthusiastic because they know that she's the girl my ex was cheating on me with. And everything was way too quick. My ex's dad reached out to me and even told me to not feel hurt if I saw pictures online. While they were uncomfortable, they didn't want to cause a scene. I just unfollowed people related to my ex so I wouldn't see. His family has been very caring about me and would support me to say they wish we could work things out. Each time I would decline and said that I just wish we could close things well. Ultimately, I mustered up the courage to message my ex so that he would return very sentimental and valuable things, some of which belonged to my family. I also asked if he was ready to talk to me so that we could finally close things. He agreed, and we did. The gist of our discussion was him apologizing for what he did. He told me he and Jessica broke up but were still talking, that he still loved me and was just general reminiscing. Not a lot of people get closure, so while the discussion was a bit confusing, I appreciated it. I thought that was the end of it. We never spoke afterwards. We've both said our piece. I was already dating someone else and they were still talking, so it seemed the both of us were just moving on. Yesterday, I randomly received a message from Jessica. She said that she knew that I was mad and that I deserved to feel that way, and if we could talk. I asked her what about. She said that she wanted to apologize for everything and that she understood how what they did hurt me. She said that her mistake was after finding out about the truth, my ex's cheating, they should have kept their relationship low-key. She said that she always wanted to reach out but didn't have the guts to. She even mentioned that she tried talking to my ex to talk to me. I don't know how to take it and what a proper response is. I just don't agree with her sentiments on the situation. It's already been many months after, and I didn't appreciate the need to suddenly dig up on things I thought were already resolved. I also don't buy the idea that she didn't know about me. Just 3 days before our breakup, my ex was still posting pictures of me on his social media, posts he didn't delete. But even giving her the benefit of the doubt, she knew almost immediately after we broke up that my ex cheated on me with her. Am I being too harsh and bitter? I don't think I'm too angry anymore, but maybe I just have a great dislike of her. My opinion for OP. I totally understand where you're coming from. It sounds like you already buried the hatchet with your ex, and so what's the sense in digging up the past? What was done is done. And if you don't want to talk to her, then you don't have to talk to her. That's your prerogative. So best of luck to you. Just do what you feel is best for you. Now for the advice before reading the update. I don't think you're being too harsh. However, you could do the Zen thing by assuming she's at least trying to move on with her life and forgive her for yourself. Resentment is a poison that we drink and both parties die. Be the bigger woman. Tell her that you forgive her and hope she's learned a bit from the experience and move on. I actually ended up in a similar position with my ex's ex. We linked up and both realized he'd played us both for fools and became pretty good friends for some time. It may be more therapeutic than you think, just saying. She kept mentioning that she understands that I'm still very mad and angry. The thing is, I really didn't have them in mind for months already. I thought we were already moving on. I don't feel the need to hate or be angry at her. I dislike her, sure, but it just felt like she was trying to get validation from me somehow. I just replied saying I was no longer angry, that her choices in life no longer affect me, and I'm not sure what she's going through and why she felt the need to reach out to me after so long, but hope everything is okay. Finally, I just said that there can really be nothing done anymore, but if her apologizing is an indicator that she won't do the same thing to someone else, then that's enough for me to know. I just really didn't want to look back at things anymore. I had already had a final conversation with my ex. Why she felt the need to have a conversation with me just really felt like she wanted to clean her conscience because she kept insisting that she tried to get my ex to talk to me. I guess I just didn't appreciate that. Honestly, F her. She's a liar and they're both creeps, and you don't owe either one of them anything. Just pretend you never received her message and continue to move on. Good luck, OP. Thank you. It derailed me for a while, but then I reminded that I'm at a pretty good place in my life. Thank you for your insight. Now for the update. Hi all, my initial post didn't garner much attention, but I wanted to give a short update. I never responded back to Jessica and basically told her that while I understood she was guilty, there really isn't anything she can do or should do for me, just that she has to make better decisions now, and hopefully her guilt would mean that she wouldn't hurt another person like that again. During the holidays, my ex's dad greeted me a Merry Christmas. I was also told of the news that Jessica was 4 to 5 months pregnant with my ex's child. It lines up now, and I guess that's why she messaged me, because they found out around that time. Just wish she was really sorry, laughing my ass off. After that, my ex and I had the chance to talk. While of course I was still not okay with the fact that he cheated on me, I wouldn't wish ill on an unborn child. He has a lot of growing up to do, and it is not the most financially stable person. It also turns out that the girl is quite young. I told him that I wished him well despite everything. His dad told me that he still believes he can make something of himself. When my ex and I talked, he admitted to me that the reason he cheated was because he knew I was already going to break up with him. This is partly true because months before, I sat him down and talked to him about issues in our relationship, and I had wanted to bring his attention to the fact that things really were no longer healthy. I guess it was my prelude to an amicable breakup. He told me that there really was a better way to break things off, but that he was too scared to be alone after breaking up. So he made sure he had someone to run to when we finally broke things off. I just really wish we could have ended things better. He was my best friend. The news shocked me, but in a way I guess I was able to get closure. I'm currently in a good and healthy relationship and starting the year with a really great outlook. Thank you all for the advice. I wish everybody a great holiday. Edit. Wow. I really wasn't expecting this to blow up. I thought my post was locked, but glad I checked. I was sick last night and only had the chance to see it now. Just a few clarifications because a lot of people have questions. I'm sorry I wasn't too clear on the details, as I didn't want to submit such a lengthy post. I realized after rereading my post how confusing I was. My apologies. First is that yes, I did respond back to Jessica. The message I detailed in this post before after sorry I made a mistake, the Reddit post, but she responded again. I no longer messaged back afterwards. Hope that's clear. You were all correct. Based on the timeline, she did get pregnant after we broke up and I discovered his cheating. What I didn't mention or was fully clear with yet is around 4 to 5 months ago, my ex talked to me and told me that he and Jessica broke up because they realized that they were in a relationship for the wrong reason. We talked for closure, but I realize now he was also testing the waters with me. I could be wrong though. There were a number of people who also questioned why I kept in contact with people in my ex's life, or why I even talked to him about everything. I agree that it isn't the most healthy or mature, and I call myself out on that a lot of times. It was just really hard to detach from his family, who I grew close to. When my ex's dad last talked to me, he told me that things will never change, and he still loves me like a daughter. And while a lot of people don't agree with my last communication with my ex, I think it was helpful for both of us in the process of moving forward. I think we left the conversation clearing out that we don't have hate for each other, just wishing each other well. Also, I have to admit that I don't have the most positive image of Jessica, and I watch myself a lot of times not to be hateful. It's hard to judge when you only have the negative things shown to you. She did a lot of hurtful things to me outside of the cheating, but in the grand scheme of things, I really don't know the full story anyway. With how the chips fell, I think all I can do now is wish them the best. 2018 was a tough year. Went through a breakup, was cheated on, lost my sister, had to recontact my ex to get things my sister used to own back. These are things that I referenced to in my initial post, and basically had to pull myself back up after all the pain and losses. But I am glad to leave it all behind in 2018, and I'm starting 2019 strong. Thank you all for the positivity and warm wishes, everyone, to a healthy year of growth ahead. Story 2. My 27 female family canceled their holiday plans saying they wanted to save money. Last week, they went on a last-minute week-long trip to Hawaii without me. My 27 female family canceled their Christmas plans because they wanted to save money. Last week, they just went on a last-minute week-long trip to Hawaii without me. I have always been really close with my family. Maybe that is why this hurts so much. My parents, mother and father, both late 50s, and brother, 25 male, all live in the U.S. So they have limited vacation time, but make enough money to go on a few nice trips a year. I live in Europe and recently went back to school, so I have plenty of weeks of vacation, but not a whole lot of disposable income at the moment. My family, at least my parents and I, try to meet up somewhere once a year since I moved away 7 years ago. This year, we were talking about them coming to my country for Christmas since they were too busy moving to go anywhere with me during the summer. I like this idea too, since we hadn't had the chance to spend Christmas as a family in years, because they rarely have more than a few days off during the holidays. I was excited to show them the Christmas markets and parades around my town, because it's one of my favorite times of year, and I had learned a few recipes I wanted to make for them too. Well, I tried helping them plan it for months, but they always came up with some sort of excuse such as plane tickets still being expensive, or your brother doesn't really like the cold weather. I tried to suggest elsewhere, but everywhere that wasn't beach weather was considered too cold for my brother, someone who goes to Alaska frequently. They said that they would probably skip coming for Christmas and just save up money for the summer so we could do something fun together as a family. I was fine with this, a bit disappointed that I couldn't see them this year, but I understood their reasoning at the time and I brushed it off and moved on. That is until Thanksgiving week. My brother asked for the week off and the three of them decided to go for a last-minute, week-long trip to Hawaii together. They sent me pictures of them in matching outfits and on the beach, etc. They called me for a few minutes on Thanksgiving Day, but then cut me off because my mom and brother wanted to go to the beach. They didn't talk to me much the whole week, just sent me pictures and videos of them having fun, and that's about it. They didn't even bother inviting me at all, which would have been nice at least. My mom waited until they got home and called me to tell me how much fun that they all had, and said she wished I could have been there. I made a passing remark saying that it would have been nice if we could have done something as a family this year. She said that they planned it at the last minute and that she wasn't doing this today, before hanging up on me. I texted her explaining how hurt I was, and she made it seem like she was looking for flights to my country again, but then sent a frowny face saying that they got even more expensive. I told her that it wouldn't have been so bad if she booked them a few months in advance like I had suggested. She then said that it was too hard to plan for that far in advance. I brought up 3 cruises they had planned 6 months in advance for that year, and she said that those were different since they were going with their friends. I have the impression they simply just don't want to see me because when they want something, they usually make it happen. I don't even care if we do anything extravagant. I just wanted to see them. At this point, I just removed my whole family from my Snapchat and stopped talking to my mom because it was just making me upset. And I need to try to focus on my upcoming exams. I feel like I'm not even part of the family anymore. I found out a few months ago that they made a family group chat that didn't include me, so when my mom slipped up and told me about it, they made another one with me in it that they barely used, so I left that one too. I love my family, but this is starting to really break my heart. I feel like I'm being pushed out, and when I talk to them about it, they just make excuses to tell me I'm overreacting. I can't seem to properly communicate to them how much they hurt me because I really wanted to see them this year. I'm trying to plan on a trip to go to the US to visit them during my spring break, but I feel like they don't really want to see me because when I brought it up to my mom, she just replied that the dates of their next cruise, which was apparently around the same time. I have no idea what to do anymore. I feel like my relationship with them just keeps getting worse and worse, but they don't seem to care. I feel broken. I miss them. They always send me souvenirs from their trips to show that they think of me, but I want to see them. I don't want objects. Luckily, I have new plans for the holidays, so I won't be all alone or anything, but I'm still hurting. I don't really even expect to hear from them until Christmas, honestly. Any advice is welcome. And now for the advice. First of all, best of luck with your exams. It's important to put this family drama behind you and concentrate on your personal goals. Your family has no interest in visiting Europe or experiencing a European Christmas. Their loss. Have they even taken your wishes into account for the holidays, even when you lived at home? Are they upset that you moved away and punished you by pulling away and not including you on the family group chat? Mom saying she wished you were there in Hawaii was pretty bloody silly when she didn't even invite you. My advice is to live your own life and build your own family and friend network in your adopted country. Contact your parents occasionally to say happy birthday and Merry Christmas and let them know your travel plans for the year. You know that if they want to see you, they have the money and time to make it happen. They will probably plan a big, expensive European holiday next summer and expect to drop in to see you for a couple of days before they head off again with friends. You probably won't hear from your mom until Christmas, and even then she'll talk about their fun and not want to hear about your Christmas. They've moved on and are enjoying their child-free lives and the ability to have a vacation at the drop of a hat. Everything revolves around their plans with their friends, and they will expect you to work in with them, especially when they want to see any kids you have. If you can stand it, ask to be included on their regular Snapchat groups so you can keep track of their everyday life and travel plans and feel a little included that way. Definitely second this. Exams come first. Do well, land the big job, become successful, and spend time with people that actually care about you. Thank you. Luckily, I still have a few weeks left to study this and has just been a bit of a hurdle in that, unfortunately. I got to decide on a vacation when I graduated from high school, but other than that, we usually traveled for my dad's work or we all pitched in our ideas and tried to make it work. I never personally had too many preferences because I just like spending time with them. I can always visit the places I want to go to without them when I finish my studies, as I did before I went back to school. They recently moved to the same city as my brother, so they hang out all the time. The only thing that really sets us apart is that they are all in the same automotive career field, and I chose to go into healthcare. So there is a gap there. They do call me if they need medical advice or a translation from my second language, and that always made me feel useful at least. I will see if I can be included in their group chat when I finish exams. I think they have one in regular SMS and another on WhatsApp. Continue to push forward. This is another life hurdle, and passing those exams will open up so many doors for you that will lead you to a rewarding life. One thing though, I want to emphasize this. You are more than your career. Your family should be reaching out to you because they love you and want to continue to be part of your life, not because you're useful from a healthcare standpoint or maybe be able to translate something. It seems you give a lot and it's not being reciprocated, so please always remember your worth. Story 3. My 18 female parents didn't let me go on a trip for choir last year, and now they're flying my brother, 15 male, to California to see his painting in a gallery. Last year, my high school choir was invited to participate in a music conference and competition in New York City. I'm in Ohio. The cost per student was roughly $1,500, but I had that much saved up. All I needed was my parents' signature because I was only 17 at the time. They refused to let me go because I would have to miss a week of school, even though I had all A's and B's, and I showed them my online school calendar, which showed that I wouldn't be missing any tests. I was sad, but was really frustrated because I would be turning 18 literally a month after getting back from the trip. And the only reason I couldn't go was because my parents refused to sign some damn paper. But I moved on, or so I would like to think anyway. My brother is a painter and he submitted a painting to some youth artist competition, and his piece got chosen to be shown in a gallery in California. My parents were over the moon when they found out, and immediately made plans to fly them and my brother out to go see it in the gallery. And from what I've heard, do some tourist stuff in the city they were visiting. My brother is missing 3 days of school for this. I'm trying not to be jealous of my kid brother, but I've had this ache in the pit of my stomach ever since I found out, so I'm effing frustrated and I don't know what to do, think, or even feel at this point. I'm happy for my brother, really, but I can't stop thinking that it should have been me. I love choir more than life itself, so that's probably clouding my judgment too. My brain keeps coming up with different reasons why my parents might be doing this, but I always end up thinking that in some way or another my parents love my brother more than me. I know it's not true, but I can't get it out of my head. So I figured I'd ask some strangers for advice. I want to stop resenting my parents and my brother for this, but I don't know how. Now for the advice. It's possible your parents have loosened up on their rules with your younger brother. It's also possible that they do care more about his accomplishments than yours. You can sit down with them and express your disappointment in their favoritism and ask for an explanation. But you might not get the truth, and they might fall all over themselves justifying their actions and getting mad at you for bringing it up. They may even admit that they should have let you go, but it's all water under the bridge now and no way to undo it. Even so, it's worth a try to talk to them about it. Even if you don't get any resolution from them, you've at least told them that you noticed it and want them to acknowledge it wasn't fair. You need to express your hurt and your thoughts to your parents. You need to tell them that you have thoughts that they must love your brother more than you. If you don't express this, your resentment will continue to grow and your mind will take you in negative directions. You may not like their answers, but you will have some answers. I'm sorry you got to miss out on an experience that was so important to you. I just want to warn you that if and when you do bring it up to them, protect yourself by not expecting a good response. Parents that do this tend to blame, deflect, deny, and dismiss. Maybe yours won't, and that would be really lovely, but just be careful when you bring this up. You may end up even more heartbroken. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.